February 9, 2017. Trump prepares 30 million-man army after California-China plot to destroy America exposed. Another stunning Security Council (SC) report on the escalating war between shadow government globalists and Freemason leader President Donald Trump circulating in the Kremlin today states that President Putin's fearful order for the Federation military to be prepared to launch attacks at any minute, and his further ordering the rapid redeployment of strategic long-range nuclear bombers, was due to Minister of Defense Sergei Shoigu being told by his South Korean and Japanese counterparts that U.S. Secretary of Defense General James Mad Dog, Warrior Monk Mattis, who had just visited these Asian nations, had revealed to them that a massive plot had been discovered where China would conduct a massive Pearl Harbor-type attack on the United States, and then shortly afterwards, begin an occupation in defense of the new nation of California. According to this report, Security Council analysts have previously determined that the Freemason forces being led by President Trump are intent on uniting the United States with Russia in order to destroy China so they can re-establish a new world order, and exactly as they had done during their last emergence in the late 17th and early 18th centuries when they destroyed the power of European monarchies and Catholic Church through both the American and French revolutions. With China having wiped out about a quarter of its world's largest foreign currency stockpile over the past 18 months in order to keep its currency stable, and that Trump is now using to drive a wedge between the Russians and Chinese, this report continues, Beijing, in their knowing of Trump's coming victory in the 8 November U.S. presidential election, and in seeking to halt Freemason forces from reaching their objective, began the takeover of the top 6 major Hollywood studios. China's strategic initiative in taking over these Hollywood studios, this report explains, was to form an alliance with the radical leftists controlling this powerful industry, and who, in turn, have now announced that they are forming an alliance to destroy Freemason leader President Trump, and who have already begun marshalling their forces to ferment chaos and rebellion throughout the United States. Most critical to note of this China-Hollywood alliance, however, this report says, are that many numbers of American radical leftist actors, actresses, singing artists, directors, producers, etc., are now being employed as couriers shuttling messages between Beijing and their Democratic Party communistic allies through, at least, 13 corporations owned by Wang Jianlin, China's richest man, and in order to escape normal, common U.S. military electronic detection measures. Also to note, this report continues, are intercepted encrypted communications between the Independent Republic of California Embassy in Moscow and Beijing showing that hundreds of top Chinese military and political subversive operatives have begun mass purchases of homes and buildings in Seattle, Washington in order to further their occupation efforts of Western America once war begins. As the Federal Security Service, FSB, had previously reported, December 2016, of their estimation that Hillary Clinton would become the governor of California in 2018, with succession of this state from the United States occurring in 2019, this report warns, Freemason forces under the command of President Trump are moving against his shadow government enemies faster than anyone anticipated, thus making this timeline appear to be much closer. In their support of the analysis that this timeline has shrunk, Security Council analysts in this report explain, is evident in many radical communistic revolutionary examples now occurring in America that include, California now pushing for their schools to mandate lessons teaching students about Russia's hacking of the 2016 presidential election, University of California professor Daryl Hamamoto trumpeting how the Berkeley riots are part of the radical leftist plan to destroy freedom of speech, and the Pope Francis Vatican-led faction of the shadow government having Dr. David Perry, of their satanic Jesuit St. Joseph's University, now shockingly telling students that they don't have to open their hearts to white Trump supporters, thus making it is right to kill them all. as to how these Vatican shadow government globalist elites have been able to subvert and corrupt the minds of their various nations' young citizens. This report further details, is revealed in many shocking examples too, including, in Berlin, where it was found that nearly all of these leftist radicals were unemployed and living at home with their parents. And even more shockingly, in America, where new evidence has emerged showing that over 25% of the students entering into university are immediately diagnosed with mental illness for having any anti-leftist views and then given powerful mind drugs. Among the perpetrators destroying the minds of these millions of American university students, this report continues, is the feared shadow government University of California political operative David Brock, and homosexual boy love advocate embroiled in the Pizzagate scandal, who was just given full control of Democratic Party, and whose staggering plan to destroy Freemason leader President Trump that was just secretly revealed. Democracy Matters, Strategic Plan for Action, outlines initial measures to challenge, in leftist-leaning U.S. federal courts, everything Trump does, conspires with Google and Facebook to shut down and destroy all conservative media sources, and that then plans for the violent destruction of America through mass street riots and chaos. To the success of David Brock's strategic plan for action against Freemason leader President Trump, this report details, is undeniable as one radical leftist U.S. federal court is blocking Trump's trying to keep Islamic radicals out of America, and another is, likewise, blocking his actions to eliminate hundreds of thousands of federal regulations. With the needless federal regulations Freemason leader President Trump is trying to eliminate, costing the America taxpayers a staggering $1.9 trillion a year. And new reports showing that 36,007 criminal aliens were released by the Obama regime from custody in 2013 alone, 1,000 of whom had already been convicted of new crimes as of June 2015, including 121 murders. This report continues, one need only wonder when Trump's patience will run out. And when it does, this report warns, Minister of Defense Shoigu, in his relating to President Putin his conversations with his South Korean and Japanese counterparts, states that U.S. Defense Secretary General Mattis revealed that Freemason leader President Trump was in the initial stages of preparing to unleash upon all of his Vatican shadow government radical leftist enemies the most fearsome force in the world today, the United States militia. Known to but a handful of military experts, this report explains, Freemason leader President Trump has the power to invoke at any time he so chooses the Militia Act of 1903, and that upon his doing so, every able-bodied man of at least 17 and under 45 years of age in America will become part of what is known as the unorganized militia under his direct, and sole, command, and that will include the estimated 55 million of these people who are already heavily armed with 265 million guns. Includes 16 million hunters who will covert to guerrilla fighters, along with 21.8 million veterans of the U.S. Armed Forces who overwhelmingly support Trump. Not being understood by nearly all of these radical leftist and globalist elite enemies of Trump, who constantly compare him Nazi Germany's Adolf Hitler, yet are still unable to comprehend the staggering military power within his grasp, this report grimly explains, is that the only historical counterpart that he can be compared to is Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte, who as a secret Freemason not only participated as one of the masterminds of the French Revolution, but was, also, able to mobilize one of the largest armies ever known, an historical fact not known in America today, but, most assuredly, remembered in the Italian village of Vagliasotto, whose present-day inhabitants in this region of Tuscany still remember when Bonaparte led a French division south to invade their region and occupy Tuscany and the Papal States, and explains why today they are erecting a giant marble statue to honor Freemason leader President Trump in their hoping to be spared from his wrath. In concluding their report, Security Council analysts note that it's important to remember that these Freemasons are never subtle when it comes to their cryptic warnings either, and who, in 2014, warned these pampered monsters in their high satanic citadel of New York City of what was soon to come by flooding this city with advertisement posters just simply saying, "The French aristocracy never saw it coming either," and with Freemason leader President Trump able to reach within minutes 87 million of his most loyal supporters, the cannon fodder masses of these leftist global elites won't know what hit them. But that cannot be said of their so-called radical leaders who are building and fleeing to their bunkers as fast as they can.